My name is Nolan. I am from Richmond, Vermont initially. I currently live in Somerville, Massachusetts as of 2 weeks ago. My undergrad was in marketing and business administration. I didn't feel that I was done learning after I finished my undergrad. I loved the business school and I loved the marketing program, and I felt that that gave me a solid background in kind of the communications and journalism portion of work, but I wanted to kind of take a deeper dive into where some of these environmental issues that I cared about so much really came from and where they rooted from. And so because the Carsey School has so many professors of various backgrounds, I felt that their experience in different fields would give me the opportunity to really learn from them and kind of understand more deeply about where my interests and where I can actually make an impact in the places that I'm passionate about. So I chose public policy because I wanted to make an impact in my community and with policy issues around me that I felt that I could really be a part of the pipeline and put some good input in. And I have a strong draw for environmental policy, and I felt that I can make a solid impact and do some good. So I wanted more. One of the big draws for me for public policy was how broad it was. Yes, I'm very interested in environmental policy, but I am still very undecided in potentially what path I want to go in. And the great thing about policy is you have so many options along the pipeline. You could do research, you could do government work, you could do community development or implementation. There is something for everyone, and I think that's something that I definitely need to take into account as I finish, but is something that is really great about the policy program here. It's very unique in the way that, yes, you're taking core classes, but that doesn't mean you're binded to a strict set of curriculum. You really get to explore what you're passionate about within those classes, and I think that kind of enables you to cater it to make it your own program. You're not just getting a master's in public policy, you're exploring your field and setting yourself up for a future in that field. And even the professors, as I mentioned, they have connections. You're gaining those connections to put yourself forward and be successful.
Good morning, everyone. Here's Kieran Solstice reporting from Washington, D.C.
One of my favorite parts about the program so far is we did an experiential learning trip in Washington, D.C., and that really opened my eyes to all of the different realms of policy and all the different careers that you could go into, and seeing these various experts in their field in their day-to-day and what they actually do was very inspiring. And so I think a major draw to Carsey is that trip and really getting to see policy on the ground and not just in the classroom. So I think that was really important and was a great part of my journey so far at Carsey. So I actually just finished a 5-year running career. I ran for the University of New Hampshire, everything from the mile to the 10K. In addition, I actually work for the Center for Impact Finance, which has really allowed me to take a deeper dive into my interest in environmental policy, with kind of learning how to influence capital to different community development projects and use sources of funding such as the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund and make a solid impact in disadvantaged and low-income communities. The Carsey School has a great alumni and professor network, and they have so many connections. And so I was actually set up with the center through Dan Bromberg, and he kind of connected me and Tina, and we talked about similar interests, and that really started the conversation, and we realized that it was going to be a really good fit. And so I feel like the Carsey School has such great connections that students are welcomed, and they want you to take advantage of those opportunities. A lot of the work that we've been doing is with this Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund, and so I think under our current administration we have a lot of opportunities for new community projects, and so I think the next, 2 to 5 years, there's going to be some major opportunities for community projects, and so I'm excited to kind of get on the ground and get involved in those and really make a difference in my local community for people who may not have access right now to the capital they need. I want to be able to make that available and educate them on resources, how they can become more resilient and economically stable in their own daily life. So there's a lot of opportunities, and I'm excited to get involved with the process. I honestly feel that having a busier schedule for me works better because it kind of forces me to, when I have time to do my work, I have to get it done or else I am going to run out of time. But if I don't have that regimented schedule, I find that I sometimes push work off, and so doing things outside of your master's or your major or your sport kind of forces you into routine. And so as someone coming in, I would definitely suggest finding activities that you're passionate about outside of your program, just so you can kind of have that schedule and hold yourself more accountable. I think, again, it is going to set me up for the most opportunities that I can. I think especially in this day and age when everything is extremely competitive with everyone doing all sorts of different extracurricular activities, having a master's really sets you apart and kind of shows your commitment to the programs and the fields that you're passionate about. And especially Carsey, because again, the program has such great hands-on experiences and really allows you to have the flexibility to explore the fields that you're passionate about and doesn't stick you to a regimented schedule. I just felt that would be extremely important for me going forward in my career. And I feel like I'm pretty motivated by those around me. Within the Carsey program, I feel that everyone is extremely passionate about being there. You walk into the classroom and people are excited to learn, they're excited to be participating, which isn't always the case with some schools and some degrees. And so I feel like seeing my fellow students be excited and wanting to be there kind of motivates me to also be excited. And also just everyone is so intelligent in their own field, and getting to learn from their experiences and kind of the fields that they're wanting to go into is extremely motivating and just well-rounds you as a learner. I think anyone who is interested in making a change or making an impact, whether that's on the individual, community, federal, international level, if you see a policy or just something in our government that you aren't so happy with, I think you need to make your voice heard and really get involved in the process. And as I mentioned, you don't have to be any type of person to do a master's in public policy. You could be pretty analytical and do the research side, or you could be on the communications and journalism. There's a spot for everyone. And so I think if you are passionate about any field, that you should do a master's in public policy.